So let's talk about history of Church Farm. These 175 acres here, which is actually a very big garden but a very small farm. Many fields bigger than this farm now. So there was probably agriculture going on here for at least 3,000 years. The soil itself came with the last ice age, and I've heard speculation that this area was probably a glacial beach, so that's why you have patches of stones and different soil types even within the same field. So your flies are not undone.
No, they're not undone. I'm so putting this on YouTube. I'm so putting this on YouTube.
It's alright, your flies are there. So let's talk about history still. So history of this farm, as far as I know. So I think it is, well, I know it's mentioned in the Domesday Book. Indeed, the top field is mentioned specifically, Squitmore. And squit is the Old English name for couch grass, a pernicious agricultural weed. But indeed, when I ploughed it in the 80s, you'd still have couch grass there then. I'm bored of talking about history now.
Well then, let's move on.
Shall we move on?
So what did you start doing on this farm a year ago?
So a year ago, this farm actually went out of business really in the late 80s, when as agriculture industrialised and farms became bigger and bigger and bigger, or had to be. Then a farm here, which did once produce two livings for my parents and my grandparents, became unviable in the 80s. Just at the time that I was studying agriculture at university.
Good job.
Wise move. So my sort of farming career didn't kind of happen when I was 21, and I started something else. So over the years we've managed to plant a few woods that you will see when you do your programmes, and a couple of ponds, and this land here, this 175 acres, hasn't had any sort of insecticides on it for well over 20 years, and that's been interesting to see the wildlife come back here. So there are 3 pairs of grey partridge nesting, or pairing up this year, and we've had successful broods over the last 4 or 5 years. And a whole load of wildlife, which you as a pharmacologist will film and take to the world. And then what happened a couple of years ago, or actually 18 months ago, is I got ill, and about the same time as Jeremy Beadle did, and unfortunately he died of his illness, and I recovered. Which that gave me a sort of shorter window in terms of ambitions and making some kind of impact and doing something about some of the things that I feel passionate about, and hence starting this wild adventure to see if we can create an alternative food and farming system here.
And that's Agrarian Renaissance.
That's Agrarian Renaissance at Church Farm.
Okay.
So here you will find a integrated farming system designed to produce food rather than commodities. We are processing that food locally, and then we will be retailing it locally through a farm cafe and village store, which will be opening shortly as a prototype.
How shortly?
Oh, within weeks.
Okay.
Within weeks.
No pressure.
No pressure. Anyway, that's Robert and Emma are doing that, and Adrian, and I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. Should we put an advert in here?
Let's.
Have we done our 3 minutes for the day, do you think? 3 minutes of history.
I reckon we probably
Yeah, we can carry the story on another day.
Absolutely. We'll cover Agrarian Renaissance in more detail in a later film.
Let's talk later. Bye!